You're listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show, produced by Audrey Bell-Kearney. Catch a new episode Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Now on to the show.
Good morning, all my Gwinnetians out there in Gwinnett Land, all of my friends around the world. And yes, I have friends around the world, so thank you so much for tuning in. It's a beautiful, sunshiny day here in Gwinnett County, 23 degrees though. 23 degrees going up to a high of only 33 degrees, just 1 degree above freezing. And it was cold and it was icy yesterday. And everybody stayed in the house, and everybody's staying in the house today because it is cold and icy. So but listen, we're not complaining because we got heat. Could be worse. We could be cold with no heat. We could be cold with no food. We could be all of those things. But God is good and we're great. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. I got a great show with you this morning for you this morning. Today we're going to be talking about local visibility. And this is the thing. This show is for anybody, anywhere, with a small business who feels like nobody knows them here. I have this awesome product, but nobody knows them here. Nobody understands that you're there because they don't know you're there. Let me say that again because that sounds crazy, right? Nobody understands that you're there because they don't know you're there. Like they don't know that you have this great product. They don't know because you haven't really told them. Like you said a few things, you posted some stuff on social media, and a lot of times we think that's all it takes. And I'm gonna tell you, people will Google you in a New York minute. My daughter and I had this big debate some years ago when Instagram was hot, right? I kept telling her you need a website, right? And she kept saying, I don't need a website. I can, Instagram is it. Don't nobody use a website anymore. Fast forward to today, you still need a website. And here's why you need a website, because you put in a lot of work on social media platforms. You add a lot of content out there, you're posting every day, and you can't control the algorithms, right? You can't control those things. And you also can't control um when they want to post stuff, when they want to show your stuff. So you're kind of just throwing stuff out there to the wind, but you're doing it. So I gotta applaud you for that. But you gotta have a strategy. So we're gonna talk about 7 reasons why great businesses right here in Gwinnett County stay invisible. We're gonna talk about how to fix that. And it's a lot of work. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. I'm a content creator. I'm a content entrepreneur. I create massive amount of content. If you Google Audrey Bell-Kearney, I'm gonna come up somewhere. Either I'm gonna come up on my own stuff or I'm gonna come up on somebody else's stuff. And we're gonna be talking about how to come up in other people's search engines and searches too when other people talk about you. But today, I want to talk about 7 reasons why great businesses that are in Gwinnett County, in your town, in your state, your country, why they stay invisible. Because in order for people to do business with you, they have to know that you exist. Like if they don't know that you exist, they can't do business with you. And posting one time on Facebook and 2 times on Instagram and going on TikTok, and it's not enough. It sounds like a lot because it is, but it's not enough. And here's the other thing, you got to be intentional. So let's talk about 7 reasons great businesses stay invisible no matter where you are. Gwinnetians, this is for you, but this is for everybody else listening. Many businesses rely only on their social media pages. That's a problem. That is a problem because the social media is there to be social. You need a website. Now, I've always had a website. But I have social media pages too. But I also have a website. When you go to Good Morning Gwinnett, it's very clear. I talk about business, I talk about news, local news, I talk about technology, I talk about money. Very, very clear. That's my website. I also post things on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, I have an Instagram page, I got a TikTok page, I got a YouTube page, I got an X page, I have pages, I got an Alignable, I have pages everywhere because I understand the importance of all of the places that you need to be. I understand that. But my home base is my website. Now let me say this because I've been thinking about this so heavily lately. I was watching YouTube and I watch YouTube at night, and we're gonna talk about that in another episode because that is YouTube is more powerful now than it ever has been. We'll talk about that later. But I was watching YouTube and I only watch it at night when I'm in the bed around 9 or 10 o'clock at night. This is my guilty pleasure, YouTube at night, and I'm pretty much only watching business stuff. So I was watching YouTube, and this lady was on there, and she was talking about how she had built this huge following on Instagram. And for some reason, Instagram shut the entire, I think she had like a 500,000 followers. It shut the entire site down, her page, shut her page down. and she had to start from scratch. So she had people are looking for the page. She has to start from zero. Do you know how crazy that sounds to me? So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about that, right? And I'm saying, yeah, I know I'm doing all this content, but guess what I decided, y'all? I have a news and media site. I'm gonna post on all those places, but you best believe all the traffic that I'm pushing right now is going to goodmorninggwinnett.com. And why is that? Because of Facebook, if YouTube, if Instagram, if X is all alignable, all of these people decided anytime I said something crazy, I posted wrong thing, they didn't like, and they decide to shut me down, I'm gone. And so, social media pages should be there to support your business. They shouldn't be your business. Let me say that again for the folks in the back. Social media should be there to support your business. Those pages should not be your business. And I get it. People are making a ton of money on these places, on these platforms. But guess what? At any moment, if they decide you violated some of their rules or regulations that you don't even know what they are, I saw a guy say he said his page got shut down. Now listen to this. He know the rules, so he was following the rules, but his page looked too much like somebody else's page. And no, not even look like, it was worded too much like spam. Like the way his stuff was worded. So he's going through his channel. This is YouTube this time. He's going through his channel. He's looking at like everything he's doing. He's like, I know I'm in compliance. It was the way something was worded. And the AI crawled the page across his channel, and they cut him off. And he was like, so he had to keep digging and keep digging and keep digging to find out, what did I do wrong? And when he found it out, it was the way he was saying, he was wording his I think it was his thumbnails or something, like he had like, make money this way, or you can make kind of this kind of money. It was like a financial kind of um YouTube channel. And it was the way he was wording the content that got him a strike and got him shut down. Crazy. So now he's on there making all this content that nobody can see because YouTube done cut them off. You don't want to do that. You want to be visible, but you want to be strategic about your visibility. All right. So the first thing you need to do is get a clear digital home base. You need a website. Let me just say that you need a website. Stop thinking you don't. It need to be optimized the right way. If you don't know what the heck you're doing and building a good website, don't do it. Spend the money. This is another one. Spend the money so somebody can create the website that you need. It is a lot of work that goes into creating a website. I've been creating websites since 1994. Let me say that again for the people on the other side in the back room. I have been creating websites since 1994. I started out in school. I went to a school called SciSoft. They taught me how to do website with HTML, ML. Then Microsoft came out with Microsoft Front Page, which means I didn't even have to know HTML anymore. And then Weebly came out. I'm telling y'all, this is how long I'm gonna do it. Go back and look up. What somebody's like, what is Weebly? Weebly came out. I spent a lot of time on Weebly, and then Square bought Weebly and messed my whole site up. It went down. I mean, my site disappeared. I couldn't get it back. I was crazy. I looked at I looked at Huffington Post, and I said, okay, Ariana created Huffington Post. I'm gonna do what she did. How did she build her site? She built it on WordPress. I did a pivot and I rebuilt Good Morning Gwinnett on WordPress. I've done Wix sites, I've done GoDaddy sites, I've done Hostinger sites, I've done so many different kind of sites. My site, Good Morning Gwinnett, is built on WordPress. Now, do you need to build your site on WordPress? Probably not. There's some really, 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 really good programs out there that you can use to build a website. Hostinger is one of them, and I'm not even an affiliate for them, but they are a good one because they have AI built right into it. Right. I'm building a news organization just like Huffington Post, so I needed to be on the same platform the Huffington, because that was my motto. If she's on Huffington Post, I need to be on Huffington Post. That was my motto, and so I built my website on WordPress. You don't have to do that. You got so many tools that you got AI tools that are spin up. Let me tell y'all a quick story. I met a gentleman and he needed a website. And I told him exactly what to do. I said, listen, this website can be built in like 5 minutes, literally. Right? He still doesn't have a website. I don't even understand I don't even understand the thought process behind that. Because I know the instructions I gave him, he could have had a full blown workable website in 5 minutes. Literally, it might not even been 5 minutes, it might have been three. So you can whip up a website with sites like Lovable and Replit and I don't know, all these other great vibe coding platforms in a New York minute. Just go out there and do it. Stop making excuses. He did not when I saw him the next month, he still didn't have a website. In my mind, you can say whatever you want to say. It's something in there that's holding you back. Get you a website. That's the first thing. Make sure your website explains exactly what you do. When you go to Good Morning Gwinnett, the first thing you see is local news. Why? Because I'm in Gwinnett County. Why? Because I talk about local news sometimes. But I also am a big lover of business and tech. And I talk about that all the time. So for me to be completely dedicated and committed to what I was trying to build, it had to be a part of who I was. Business and technology is a big part of who I am. And I'm patting my chest right now because I'm so passionate. You hear me? It's a big part of who I am. So I had to make sure that that was embedded into my site because that's what news is not going to keep me coming back. I don't care how much I love Gwinnett, and I do, but I know getting up every morning because I've tried it and I was like, this is not working. It made me stress completely out. It was not going to be the thing that woke me up every morning and got me excited about coming into the office and doing the work. It wasn't. Business and media and talking to you guys, that got me excited. So I had to make sure that that was baked into the platform where I spend most of my time. So make sure that not only do you set up a website that tells people what you do, but make sure it's a website that explains what you do and that you're passionate about the thing. Because if somebody hits your website and they say, "Hey, I want to know this," and you can't tell them, then you're trash. I'm just keeping it real. This is 2026 is not the year to be fake. 2026 is not the year to be sugarcoating shit. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just telling you like it is. I ain't sugarcoating nothing this year because me sugarcoating it things is not going to help you grow. It's not going to help you be the best that you can be. So there's no sugarcoating. And if you're a pastor or a religious leader and you listen to this, oh my God, her mouth is pouty, it will sometime be. So I'm just telling you ahead of time. This is not the year for anybody to be sugarcoating anything because this is a tough year. I've seen people crying online. They don't know where their next meal is coming from. They don't know where their next job is coming from. Their business is falling apart. Their marriage is falling apart. The kids are suffering. Not the year. So I want everybody to put on their big girl and big boy underwears and let's get to work. Roll up your sleeves and listen to what I got to say. I'm sharing with you because I care about what you do. I care about you, your family, your community, and this is the way we're gonna get shit done this year. Listening and implementing. All right, all right. Get you a website. That's the first thing. You can have all those pages. I'm not saying delete them. I'm not saying that, but you need to have your own home base. It needs to be your website. That's the first thing, and it needs to be set up properly. If you don't know how to set it up the right way, when I say the right way, it need to be optimized for the right keywords. It need to be the header, the hero section of the website need to be some kind of way. You need to know, make sure this is a science, right? Right? Excuse me. Even in the tabs on your navigation, they should be a certain way. That sounds crazy, right? But the tabs on your navigation should be laid out a certain way. The hero section of your website should be laid out a certain way. Certain things should be not above the line, and certain things should be below the fold. All of these things make for a great website. If you don't know how to do that, just hire somebody. Don't spend hours and hours and hours because you're too cheap. I want to say something else, but I don't want to be too vulgar. You too effing cheap to pay somebody. Pay the person so they can get you right. All right, all right. Um. Okay, so that's that. So you want to make sure that that's set up right. You want to make sure that everything is optimized the right way because what happens is when you're not optimized the right way, Google prioritizes platforms that are owned that mean by you, and that are optimized the right way. They are structured the right way. They got the right type of content on there. If you go to Good Morning Gwinnett, I have so much content and it's structured a certain way. Some is very bland, but some of my content is very structured. And that's intentional because I need Google to find me. Let me say that one more time. It's intentional the way it's structured because I need Google to find me. Not only do I need Google to find me, I need ChatGPT to find me. I need Gemini to find me. I need Claude to find me. So my content is structured a very, very intentional so that these platforms can find me. And yes, Google is not the only person on the only platform that's searching for you. ChatGPT is searching for you. Gemini is searching for you, and so is Claude. All right. All right, we're gonna talk a little about at local or weak SEO. I had to go back and fix this. You need a website, and your SEO needs to be top. If you don't understand SEO, hire somebody. Here's what I'm saying. When I went back, I was doing SEO. I wasn't doing it 100%. Out of 100%, I was probably doing it 50% because I thought I knew what I was doing. Now I know what I'm doing. But back then, I thought I knew what I was doing. I knew that my citations were good because I hired somebody to do that. I was like, I don't know how to do that. Let me just hire somebody who can make sure the citations are correct. They did. What is a citation? It stands for name. Yeah, it's your name, address, and your phone number. We call it NAP, right? Name, address, and phone number. If your name and address and phone number is mismatched all over the place, nobody can find you. Let me say that one more time. If your name, your address, and your phone number is mismatched all over the place, nobody's gonna find you. So I had to hire someone to go in there. It's called citations. I needed them to submit my citations with the same name, phone number, and address everywhere because I'm sure I had an address over here for this. A telephone. I know I had two telephone numbers. I know for a fact I had two. One was a 770 number, and one was a 678 number. I know for a fact because when I had my Weebly site, the telephone number on there was 770. I never changed it. So out in the world, 770 is the number. I had to fix that. That's the first thing I had to fix because inconsistency in your telephone number, your name, and address, can't nobody find you. So that's the first thing you want to do. Get your what second thing? Get your website up. Get your citations together. That's what you want to do. All right. Um, you want to become number one. I started calling myself because now you want people to know who you are. For the podcast, I would say I'm the number one hyperlocal podcast in the state of Georgia, not just Gwinnett, the entire state, which is true. I because I don't know anybody else doing who has a hyperlocal podcast like mine. So I'm not saying something that I don't believe is true. I started saying the number one hyperlocal podcast in the state of Georgia. When I was out speaking, I said, yes, I host the Good Morning Gwinnett show. It's the number one hyperlocal podcast in Georgia. You need to come up with a phrase that describes who you are. That's right. You need to say something like serving this county, serving your county. If you serve Buck County, I'm the number one whatever serving Buck County. You're the plumber, I'm the number one plumber in Buck County. You're a life coach, I'm the number one transformational coach in Clayton County. I'm a number one coach in Essex County. Whatever that thing is, you need to own that. I will always own. I'm the number one hyperlocal podcast in the state of Georgia. I own that. And somebody could come behind me and say, how do you know that? Because I don't know any other ones. So far as I'm concerned, I'm the number one. And I literally looked it up. And I was in somebody's directory as a top 10, right? For news podcasts. Like there's a directory that went out and someone tagged me and said, hey, you've been listening in the top 10 for local podcasts. I was like, that's so great. I didn't do that. Somebody else did it. They went and found me and put me in the top 10 for local podcasts. But I was saying I was number one hyperlocal podcast before, and the reason I said that was because somewhere out there in the universe, I read that that's what you should do. People say they're the number one business coach. I'm the number one business coach in the state of Georgia. I'm the number one business coach. I'm the number one fly fishing instructor for the state of Florida. Listen, who gonna argue with that? Somebody gonna go find all those fly fishers in the state of Florida and do a survey and find out who's number one? Nobody's gonna do that. But here's what I will tell you. Everybody's looking for number one. Everybody's looking for the best. Everybody's looking for the local. That's what they're looking for. They're searching for the when I go searching for something, I go look for the best. The best this, the best that. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for people in my local area. I was looking for a hairstylist. Right? I was looking for a hairstylist. I had been looking for one. I couldn't find one. And I guess what I look for? I'm looking for the number one hairstylist that work on that does short hair. Short. There was a website that popped up. They said they did short hair, right? When I went to their Instagram page, nobody had short hair. And I was like, how? So I had to call them on the phone, like, look, you say you do short hair and you're the best at it, but there's not one picture on your Instagram page with short hair. Not one. Everybody had weaves. All I saw was weaves. And don't you know I called them and left them a message and they never called me back? Because I wanted to know. You say you're the number one with short hair, so I want short hair, and I need you to cut it. I needed to look nice, and on your Instagram, and I said on your Instagram, I didn't see any pictures of short hair, so I was just wondering, is that you? That was not, and they didn't even call me back because they don't do short hair, but they're out there as the number one. But here's the thing: if you're telling people you're number one, you need to show up as number one. And if somebody call you to ask you if you're number one, you need to say yes. So they should definitely take that off their Instagram page. They should take it off their marketing because it's false marketing. They aren't number one. They have no pictures of any. Everybody had a weave on their Instagram. Everybody. long down, and I hate long weaves, like down their back kind of weaves. But on when I searched, they came up as the number one with short hair. Don't do that because that's going to ruin your credibility. I can't refer them because their information on the internet is wrong. And then I went to the Instagram page to look at pictures of the short hair that they claimed that they were experts in. There were none. And someone told them to put that out there that way, but it wasn't truthful. So it's not helping them. It only hurt them. Because here I am 4 weeks later talking about that I can't remember the name because at that point it didn't even matter. But that's not helping them. I'm not referring anybody to them because they're the number one short hair specialist in Gwinnett County because they don't do short hair, even though they have it out there like that. Don't do that. Make sure that when you talk about stuff that you know is true about you. I know I do a podcast. I know I got a great hyperlocal podcast. I know I'm located in Gwinnett County. I know I do content 4 to 5 days a week about Gwinnett County. I know that. So I am the number one hyperlocal podcast in the state of Georgia. I am. Look it up. And other people have said so too. All right, so make sure that your citations is set up properly. The next thing I want you to do is make sure, because you want to not be invisible this year. The goal is to not be invisible this year, okay? The next thing I want you to do is go look at your Google business profile. Now, and I still kind of dropped the ball on this one. I got to get better. Your Google business profiles, you can put all this content on there. Did you know that you can post weekly or daily on your Google business profile? Yeah, listen. I'm bad with Google Business. It's set up properly. The telephone number, the name, the address is good. Pictures of the office, all that's on there. I think I even had a couple of posts on there. My husband, when we go out to dinner, we go anywhere, he likes to check in with Google. And I said to him, now he has about 6 million views on his check-in thing. I was like, look, every time you check in, make sure the Good Morning Gwinnett URL is inside your stuff because 6 million people are looking at what you're posting for Google. It's Google Maps or Google something. Whatever it is, he got like 6 million views. And I was like, you need to make sure Good Morning Gwinnett is in all of the things you post to drive traffic back to the Good Morning Gwinnett website. Now that's something he loves to do. He loves it. Because he's a vanity person. He likes the numbers. I'm looking like the numbers mean nothing. They're not helping you make a dime. But it looks good because like 6 million people looked at what I posted. He's that person. Love him to death, but he's that person. I'm like, bro, that means nothing. It don't mean anything to me. Let me say that. However, if you put my URL in all your posts, that could mean something to me because that could drive traffic back to my site. So your Google profile, many people, and I'm guilty, set the profile and they kind of forget it, but you can be very active on your profile. Now that I'm talking about it, I really need to go and post something. Um, they're like many websites right now. Here's the thing: you still need your own website. Don't get excited because if Google decide they want to shut down tomorrow, you're gone. But you need your own website. But Google now, your profile is like many websites because you can literally go there and put posts on your Google profile, your business profile. You can post stuff there like articles. Like, I'm probably gonna post this article there because this is really a good article. I'm probably gonna shorten it down some, and post it on my Google business profile. It's like a mini website, but it's also like an AI data source because AI is searching the internet as well. So we did a breakfast last month, and we do a business over breakfast the second Friday of every month. And there was a young lady there last month, and I said, "How did you find that?" No, not last month, the month before last. It might have been a few months now. It might have been back in December or October, November. Anyway, it was a few months ago. She said she found us in Chat GPT, the Gwinnett Women's Chamber. I said, "Really?" It's like, yeah. She said I was looking for networking events, and you popped up in Chat GPT as a networking event. Not only did she come to the meeting, she became a member of the Gwinnett Women's Chamber of Commerce. That I was like, so that's when I realized that people and businesses are popping up inside of chat services. Chat GPT pulled us up for her. She came to our meeting and she became a member. How about that thing? So you want to make sure that you are leveraging your Google business profile because we do. The Gwinnett Women's Chamber has a Google business profile. It has all the citations in place. Everything has the same telephone number, the same address, and they have a profile. You want to make sure that your Google business profile is set up properly because you want to rank in the local search engines. Google is still the number one search engine. I know they're getting a lot of competitions from these AI platforms like ChatGPT, but they are still the number one platform. So you want to make sure that you're leveraging your Google business profile. Now, what I'm going to start doing is posting something every week on there. I'm going to add pictures and all that kind of stuff. But I think for me, my problem was, I was like, okay, what kind of pictures am I adding? So I have pictures of the office, because for Google, you have to, for them to say, to verify you, you have to put in like pictures of your office and things like that, which I have a physical office. And then they send you out this little card, and then you have to put in the number to verify that that's you. All right. They send it to the address that's on your business profile, the little card. Now, if you get the little card in the mail and never open it, you're never gonna be verified that that's you. So when Google sends a little card, don't think it's trash. Open the card up, go to your Google business profile, put in the little number so that now you can be verified as a business. Okay, do that. But now I'm gonna start posting weekly on there. I'm gonna go out and act, because my goal this year is to be very, very active with Good Morning Gwinnett in the community. I create a lot of content, so I sit behind my computer a lot. But this year, the goal is to be more outgoing, more front facing, outside of the office kind of thing, so people can get to really know who Good Morning Gwinnett is and me. I'm gonna post weekly on my Google business profile. I'm gonna add more photos more often. These are the things you should be doing the same thing too. Use service descriptions. You know that, like, right now, I just added a new tool to Good Morning Gwinnett that lets you score your local visibility. It's called a local visibility scorecard. I just created that tool through AI, because I think a lot of people don't understand that they're missing tools. They're missing this visibility. So I created a tool for that. I forgot I did it. And I just added that. So now I have to go in there and talk about that new service, because it's free for you to see where you are. It's a free tool that you can type in some information. It's going to tell you how local visible you are. I created that because when people go to Good Morning Gwinnett, I want them to understand that we are a local platform and you can be on this platform. So if you think you're doing a good job, take this little quick little quiz, and then look and see what your local visibility score is. All right. So I just created that. So now I have to go back, put that on my Google business profile so people can go and take the local visibility test. And you don't have to be in Gwinnett to do it. You can be anywhere. It's anywhere. And here's the other thing. If you know you can be anywhere, go and get in other people's directories. It does if your business is not if it doesn't if you're local because that's where you live, but your business can serve anybody anywhere, go find out which other directories you can get in. Because here's the thing. There may be somebody in that town looking for you, and it may not exist, but you exist and you can jump on a Zoom with them. Let me say that part again, because somebody missed it. If you know that your business is registered local because you live there, right? But it is a business that you can do business with anybody anywhere. Go look at other people's directories. There are so many online directories that you can put an ad in, that you can put a link on. Go put your link there, because that's linking back to your website. That those are all backlinks back to your website. Put your services in other people's directories. Get on their websites, because those become linked back to your website, link back to the things that you do. Now, if you know that you're really hyper local, like I'm in Gwinnett County, but my show is not just hyper local. This show is listened to around the world. When I looked at my every week Spreaker sends me out my report of who's listening to the show. And this week the numbers were in the high green. I don't think I did but one show last week. I'm like, what in the what? I listen to. So I went down the rabbit hole trying to find out which episode did what. The episode that did the best was in 2024. I was like, what? That episode did the best last week. And it was from 2024. And I had people in Singapore, China. I think Singapore is in China. Listening to the episode from 2024. So even though I'm not number one hyperlocal podcast in the state of Georgia, my voice is global, global. And people who want to who wants to be visible in Gwinnett County have the opportunity to put a listing in the business directory. And I just revamped it. It looks really, really nice. It looks really, really nice. I'm proud of it. It looks so good. Um, but if you do business around the world, you put your business. It's $27 a month, y'all. That's the crazy part. Yeah, I could charge a lot, but I'm a hyper local business, so I'm always thinking about the local businesses, especially the small businesses and solopreneurs. So to be listed in the directory is $27 a month. But if your business is a global business, you need the visibility here in Gwinnett County. Why not spend $27 a month? $27. Heck, I went to get my hair done. I almost cried. That was 4 months worth of worth of directory directory listings on somebody's directory. I was like, oh my God. You can't tell me you can't do $27. If you're in business and can't do $27, you need to holler at me. But it needs to be a consultation. So that's gonna cost more. All right. So anyway, post your business Google business profile weekly. Add photos. Use descriptions of your services, like for the local keywords and things like that, and respond to reviews. Now, this is probably why I don't do Google business profile, because you need to respond to the reviews. Now, I'm trying to figure out how to set up. Not figure out. I'm going to figure out how to set up my automation so that if anybody leaves a review or a question or anything on my Google business profile, I'll get an alert, because I'm not a social media person. Even though I have all those platforms, I don't spend hardly any time on social media. All right, listen, I'm gonna go to a commercial because I got to pay some bills. I'm gonna go to a commercial. I'm gonna go to a commercial song. I'll be right back after this. So stay tuned.
This episode of Good Morning Gwinnett is fueled by CoffeeThatDoesMore.com, because your morning cup should do more than just wake you up. Discover the Coffee That Does More trio. 3 blends, 3 ways to power your day. Love Cafe for a better mood and calmer mornings. Fire Thermo Cafe to kickstart your metabolism and keep your energy steady. Neuro Cafe to sharpen your focus and boost creativity. Each sip is crafted to help you think clearer, move faster, and feel amazing, all while enjoying rich, delicious coffee. Ready to start your mornings with purpose? Visit CoffeeThatDoesMore.com and grab your trio at our special launch price while it lasts. Because when your coffee does more, so can you.
Welcome back. Welcome back. It's your girl, Audrey Bell-Kearney. You're listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett show, the #1 hyperlocal podcast in the state of Georgia. I had to say that, y'all. I had to say that. All right, listen. So we're talking about how to make your business visible in 2026, because a lot of times your business is not successful is because people don't know that you're there. So we're going to change that this year. We're going to make sure that you're visible. We're going to talk on this show about how to stay visible, what you need to be doing. And it's a lot. I ain't going to even lie to y'all. Oh, y'all probably gonna get overwhelmed. Say, oh, it's too much. And I get it. I understand. But here's the thing. We gotta be successful in 2026. We're living in some weird, weird times, and we gotta take control of our own shit. Can't wait for nobody else. Can't wait for nobody else. You gotta take control. You gotta put your big girl underwear on right now. Put your panties on. Put them big girl panties on. Take control. Get in the driver's seat. Can't nobody else drive this car this year but you. Let me say that one more time. Can't nobody else drive your car this year but you. I know you want the driver to drive because you're tired of driving. Can't be tired. So get your second breath of energy and get ready to kick off. All right. All right. Let's talk about you don't have a local content strategy. Hello. You don't have a local content strategy. What is a local content strategy? That means there's nothing you're not putting out press releases. You don't have any blog posts about anything local. Um, you don't have anything. No, there's no content out there about you. I have 1,200 over 1,200 pages of content. I have over 1,200 episodes of the Good Morning Gwinnett show. I probably got 800, 900 videos about Gwinnett on YouTube. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm telling you that when you look up, somebody called me Miss Gwinnett. It was hilarious. Like, they go order she Miss Gwinnett. Why? Because I talk Gwinnett. Gwinnett Women's Chamber of Commerce, I am the president. The Good Morning Gwinnett show, I am the host. The Good Morning Gwinnett news site, I am the publisher. I am Gwinnett. So you need to make sure that people can find you. How do you do that? You can ask your customers questions and post it on your website. Get testimonials from local customers. Um, what specific problems do you solve in Gwinnett County? What specific problems do you solve in your county, in your town? It could be a small town, and if it's a small town, you may think that's a bad thing. But if you're the only person in a small town with 10,000 people answering these questions, guess who people gonna come to? You might be saying, well, we only have 10,000 people, we only have 5,000 people here. But what are the problems in that town of 5,000 people? Can you fix them? Are you the solution? Can you transform it? I'm working on something right now that any local business, any local government, any local chamber can use to support their county. It's going to be massive. I believe it's going to be massive. It's going to change some things. And the reason I'm working on it, this is when I got my Gwinnett Women's Chamber hat on. The reason I'm working on it is because we're living in some really strange times and people are getting desperate. They're getting to the point of desperation. And honestly, y'all, not to be doom and gloom, I don't see it getting any better unless we all collectively come together and work the plan. That's what I see. So starting right now, I'm talking to you about how to become your local person that everybody's looking for who solved the problem that you solve in your community. All right. Get questions from the locals. Ask them questions. I know that people in Gwinnett County, when I go out, a lot of them don't have visibility. So what did I do? I set up a directory on the Good Morning Gwinnett website. I made it very affordable for people to listen. Now, will they do it? A lot of them won't do it because they don't feel like $27 is worth it. But that, listen, I can only bring the horse to the water. I can't make them drink. That's the same thing for you. You can only lead the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. Here's what's gonna happen though. He gonna die of thirst. Let me say it again. If the horse don't drink at the well, the horse will die of thirst. So the only thing I could do is be the messenger. I can be a cog in the wheel, but I can't make people take action. But I can do my part and show up. Um, Attend community events. Let people know who you are. I got to do more of that this year. I did a terrible job last year. I'm not, listen, I'm not, I ain't got no time to be fake. I did a terrible job showing up visibly outside in person. On this computer all day long. Content everywhere. Outside visibility, terrible. I think I might have shown up to two things as Good Morning Gwinnett. I did a bad job. That's going to change in 2026. As a matter of fact, I have on my to-do list, create a local calendar of everywhere you want to be. And I'm going to be places. Oh yeah, your girl going to be out there. All right. Also know what local regulations and changes are affecting your customer and let them know because a lot of times they don't know. Like things are happening, they don't have a clue because they're busy running and doing life. Taking care of the kids, going to the job. They don't know. So you become the catalyst to share what's happening in the community with them. I know you may say, well, that's not what I do. Well, you need to do it because if your customers can't pay you, that's a problem. And they can't pay you because they missed something and you know about it, but you felt like that wasn't your job, that's your problem. I ain't sugarcoating, not doing it. I That's not what I do. Okay, well, wonder why Miss Pat can't pay you because there was a regulation or some change happened that affected her ability to pay you, and you knew about it, but because you were trying to be so prestigious and so uppity, because it's a lot of them. I ain't her. I'm boots on the ground, y'all. And I know that this may sound crazy to you because you think you're so prestigious that you can't be boots on the ground. Things are going to happen to your customers that's going to affect your bottom line. And if you can see those things happen and you can help your customer, why wouldn't you? Because you want to look a certain way, be a certain way? Okay, all right, then do that. But then when your business drop off and you don't know why, it was because you had information that could have helped your customer so they can continue to live their life so they could pay you to support them. But you didn't tell them because you wanted to be looked at a certain way. Not me. I'm not that person. And you don't got to be like me. But I'm just telling you what you need. 2026 is different. It is different. And if you think it's not, just look around. It's different. All right. Word of mouth. Yeah, word of mouth is a great thing, but nobody can talk about you if they don't know who you are. If you're not talking to them, they can't talk about you. Let me say it again. If you're not talking to them, they can't talk about you. They can't. So you want testimonials, you want case studies, you want reviews, you want feature reviews. Like that person that did that top 10 local podcast, I don't know who that person was. I have no idea. But if I didn't have a podcast that was hyper local, they wouldn't have found me. So they couldn't put me in a list. I want to say it was 2024. I was in that list. I might have been there twice, I think, on a different list. They couldn't have found me if I didn't have information out there. So make sure you're visible. Um, you don't have a multi platform visibility loop. I just told now listen, let me say this, right? You need a visibility ecosystem, right? And I know it sounds like a lot. It really does. And it really is. To manage all those things is a lot. And as a solopreneur, I understand that you can't be everywhere. But what I will say is pick a platform that's going to become your favorite that you can commit to. I just happen to have the ability to post content on all of my platforms because this is all I do. I don't do a part-time job. I don't do a full-time job. I don't have little kids. And I know somebody said, "Well, that's why you can do it." It is why I can do it. I'm not saying it's not. And what I'm saying to you is if you can't do all of those things, just make sure at the very minimum, you're searchable in Google. Make sure that your citations are right on Google Maps. Make sure you're listed in local directories. Make sure you got a website or a blog, and pick one consistent platform. You don't have to be on all of them, but these are the things you need to have. These are non-negotiables. Be searchable in Google. Be located on Google Maps. That's where your citations come in. And listen, go to Fiverr and hire somebody to fix your citations, right? Be listed in local directories. Good Morning. If you're in Gwinnett County right now, Good Morning Gwinnett has a local directory. $27 a month. Just go to the website, click the button, put yourself in the directory. It's a self-serve. You ain't even got to talk to me. Right? And make sure you got your own website or your own blog, and pick one. If you know you love Instagram, then Instagram's your thing. If you know you love YouTube, then YouTube is your thing. If you know you love Facebook, then Facebook. Whatever your thing is, pick one platform. That's your ecosystem. Google search, Google Maps, local directories, a website or a blog, and one consistent platform. If you didn't hear me, I have two. My podcast is 1,228 episodes. Consistent. That's what you call consistency. My website is the other one, over 1,200 pages of content. That's what you call consistency. I have about 800 videos and podcasts on YouTube. Consistency, right? That's what you got to get to. And then here's the last one, number 7. You have no visibility strategy. Create your strategy, y'all. Posting randomly, boosting ads occasionally, redesigning logo. It's not going to fix your visibility. That's not going to work. You need a local visibility system. Not a whole lot of content, but you need a system. My system to me is very, very consistent. It's very concise. I literally have lists of what I'm going to talk about on this show. I have lists of articles that I'm going to write about on the website. I now have a list of articles that I'm going to post about on LinkedIn. It's systematically. It's a system. But without that, I'd be all over the place. So, create your visibility system. You want to make sure you publish locally, optimize content. And let me say this. If you're in a town that has a patch.com is a local news site. Patch will let you post on patch.com for free. And you can put links in it. So if you post consistently stories about your business, your industry on patch.com, which has millions of views and is broken down by towns. Like right now, if I go to post on Patch is broken down by Lawrenceville. So I can go there and post all kind of stuff about Lawrenceville and point it back to Good Morning Gwinnett. That's a news site. So that's a hack right there. I'm telling you, that's a hit. Post on the news site. Talk about what's happening in your neck of the woods and link it back to your website. That's a link back. Leverage your local media. Come listen. My podcast, if you're in Gwinnett County, is open to you to get on the show and talk about what you do. I talked to Kat Hardrick last week. She's a councilwoman for Snellville. I'm talking to Brenda Lopez. She's running for the state representative's office. She was one before. She's running for re-election this coming Wednesday. I'm going to talk to local business leaders in the upcoming week. I do this on Wednesday. This is video. Live video. Not just video. We go live. It's live video, and what happens is that now I take those videos and I chop them up into shorts and I put them on my YouTube channel. These are the things you have to do. You got to have multiple digital touch points. You got to use these AI tools to scale. Go to Good Morning Gwinnett. I got a lot of information about AI on there. I teach a lot of stuff about AI. Check it out. Right? You got to treat visibility like an infrastructure. It can't be looked at as just marketing. So you have to have your plans in place. All right, y'all, my time is up. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it didn't sound like I was rambling, but if you go to goodmorninggwinnett.com, the whole article is there. It's a lot. It's a lot of content, but it's worth you reading, especially if you're trying to be successful this year. It's worth you reading. I got to go. I'll be back again tomorrow at 10 a.m., God willing. You guys stay safe out there. And listen, subscribe to the show. If you have not subscribed to the show and you know that I got to level up in 2026, this is the place to be because I'm talking nothing but how to make it happen. I ain't sugarcoating, so if you come in here for me to rub your hand and pat your face, it ain't it. We gonna get down to business. You're gonna put your boots on because we got some to step in. All right. Hope you enjoyed it. Share with 2 friends. It's free. It's free, y'all. Share with 2 friends and subscribe. I'll be back again tomorrow, same place, same times. Until next time, my friends. Until next time, make it a great day. Bye, everybody.
You've been listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show, produced by Audrey Bell-Kearney. Catch a new episode Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. If you missed any episode of the show, go to goodmorninggwinnett.com. Until next time, make it a great day.